Welcome to Another Thing. I'm Larry Menti. What a couple of weeks for Chris Christie. He ends his presidential campaign, he endorses Donald Trump for president, and then he comes back to New Jersey where he holds a news conference and doesn't answer any questions he doesn't want to answer. That all led to a scathing editorial in 6 New Jersey Gannett newspapers, including the Asbury Park Press, that got national attention. The editorial stated that New Jersey is fed up with Chris Christie and concluded, quote, "For the good of the state, it's time for Chris Christie to do his long-neglected constituents a favor and resign as governor. If he refuses, citizens should initiate a recall effort." Wow. The author of the editorial is with us today from the Asbury Park Press. This is Randy Bergmann, editorial page editor. What an editorial. What has the fallback or the blowback been so far?
Well, I would say it's been mostly positive. Certainly from our readers, we were inundated with comments on our website, and I would say probably 90% of them were supportive of the position we'd taken. This had been building for a long time. Clearly, Christie's standing in the polls has really suffered over a period of time, which really began pretty much right after he was reelected. And he started to spend a lot of time out of state as the chairman of the Republican National Committee, raising funds for candidates in other states, and then continuing, of course, with his own run for the presidency.
Have you heard from Chris Christie's office?
No, no. There's been very little communication really over the last several years. Governor Christie has been in to meet with our editorial board and the editorial boards of other papers, I've been told, probably not for 4 or 5 years. We met with him twice in his
How unusual is that?
Highly unusual.
So most governors in the past, the governor would be there how many times?
Well, I would say maybe twice a year, at least once a year. But we met with him twice in the first year alone, and then we probably wrote some critical editorials about him. We've all supported him. We endorsed him twice, despite what he said at Thursday's press conference, where he was attacking us and the Star-Ledger, which followed our call for his resignation 2 days later. And he spent a lot of time criticizing the both of us, saying that we never endorsed him, never supported his policies, which is an absolute lie. We endorsed him twice. We were very supportive the first time around because one of our big things is reducing property taxes and other taxes. And Christie has done a very good job, or at least during his first term he did. But that just kind of blew me away, that he would, lie that much about, the position that both of us had taken in the past.
Now, you said he should resign, and if not, a recall effort should start. It doesn't seem like he's going to resign. What are the chances that a recall effort, A, would start, and B, that it would work?
I think, well, it's already started. It actually started before we wrote the editorial. A group of public workers had put up a petition online and have gotten 3,000 signatures. After our editorial ran, there were a bunch more. But the threshold is so high that it's not too realistic. But I do think it's important for the public to show their dissatisfaction through at least making an effort to recall him, even if they don't succeed.
Is your newspaper or the Gannett newspapers going to get behind a recall effort?
We won't lead the charge for it. We will report on efforts to recall him, but we will not lead the charge on him.
Now, he held the news conference on Monday, and I assume that's really what set you off.
It was really 3 things. The first thing was the endorsement of Trump, which was the previous Friday or Saturday, I believe it was.
And you see that as opportunistic?
Absolutely. The second thing was his appearance on George Stephanopoulos' show on Sunday, where Stephanopoulos showed video clips of Christie trashing him on one issue after another.
I watched it. It was an amazing piece of journalism.
It made me feel uncomfortable really watching Christie try to answer, because there was just no rational response to it. So that was another thing, and then it was the Monday press conference, which you alluded to. That really was the kind of the final.
Did you watch the news conference live?
Oh yes.
And describe your feelings as you watched that, especially when it got to the question and answer part. where he just refused to answer questions that were not on topic, where he kept saying off topic?
I would say that I can't say that I couldn't believe it, because anything he does doesn't surprise me anymore. His antagonism towards the press is longstanding. And so I wouldn't say I was shocked that he did it, but I was just appalled that he did it, because it's not as though he's just talking to the press. He's talking to the public. There were all these questions surrounding his endorsement, his future plans. You know, he went out with Trump and campaigned for him Saturday, and then again, I guess he was out Tuesday with him on Super Tuesday, was celebrating with him at Trump's estate in Florida that night. So there were still questions about what are his plans? Is he going to continue to abandon New Jersey the same way he'd done it for really 2 previous years? And
I think he was going to until your editorial, and I'll get to that in 1 second. Is it your place in a newspaper, as a journalist, I know you're on the editorial page, to call for a resignation of a governor?
I think so. It's a democracy. We're the 4th estate. I think we have a right to say whatever we want. It's up to the public to decide whether they want to, take our advice or not. But sure, I don't see there's.
Was there any blowback at the paper or with Gannett when you said, this is what I want to write? Hey, I'm fed up. I think most people are fed up. This is what I want to write?
No, not at all. And this had been building for a long time. We had been very critical of Governor Christie, and not just us. The residents of New Jersey have shown through the polls that they're fed up with him. We did a reader survey in January, a poll asking people to give the governor grades from A to F on 9 different issue areas. They gave him all Fs on that report card. So it wasn't just us. I think we, to a certain extent, we kind of led the charge, but we were also reflecting, I think, the sentiment of people that live in New Jersey.
Would you have written it anyway, even if he was popular? It's like a chicken-egg question, I understand, but if he was popular and riding high and he exhibited the same behavior, you'd still have written the same thing?
We might have, although my guess is that if he continued to be popular, that we wouldn't have nearly as many problems with him. It was really two main reasons, I think, why he's become so unpopular. The main one being that he's essentially abandoned the state, that he spent so much time on the road, 261 days last year out of state. That's amazing to me. And I think people, even his supporters, really resent that.
And we're running out of time. The second thing is?
The second thing are his policies, and the fact that I don't think he's accomplished anything during his second term.
I think your editorial changed his trajectory. I think that he did the news conference on Thursday based on your editorial because he wanted to redo after you were so critical. I think that he was going to be on the road with Donald Trump a lot more, and that changed. And I think that his new commitment to New Jersey is specifically because of your editorial. So I'm saying all that to tell you congratulations. It was a great editorial. It was great that you took a position. I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you very much.
Randy Bergmann, the editorial page editor of the Asbury Park Press, and you'll see his stuff in many of the Gannett newspapers, and you want to keep following because this, I assume, is not over yet. When we come back, robots are taking over. That's in our next segment when Another Thing continues.